Oh, I'm live. Holy smokers, it did it. Having some malfunctioning problems. For some reason, the devil don't want me to go live. Oh man. Here we are doing a video that impulses me to do, but yeah, and here I am doing it. Trying to ask people to tell me where my truth is incorrect. But hey, it's a hard road out here. Everybody just likes to tell you you're wrong, but then never show you where. And it turns out the answers they don't want to answer are about them. And like good little narcissists all around the world, that's what they do. They run like scared little bitches when they don't know what to say or do. But hey, the title of this is Hockey and Trump. Now, I'm going to tell you guys, I don't really care two shits about fucking sports anymore. I used to. I really couldn't give two shits anymore. But not jersey. It's my Captain Common Sense. It's just a piece of clothing to me. That's just like the hat. Canada is no better than the States. But let's talk about Adam Calhoun. Oh, he loved playing that video. All right, look at us, America. We're those nasty Canadians just jeering our song and oh boy, we pummeled them for it and we beat them at their own game. If only he would have known the future, eh? If only he would have known the future, but then again, he couldn't really figure out why. Why would a bunch of Canadians boo the national anthem? I don't know. It might have something to do with, well, your fucking president, you know, saying he's going to financially cripple us. But hey, that's not something worth booing over. But hey, Adam, if you ever see this, bud, I can't remember the year, but the women, dude, the American women wanted to make sure the Canadian women knew they were much more powerful and much better than them. In fact, they laid our flag on the ground and spit on it and walked all over it and treated it like a joke. Well, just like this time, bud. Well, got mud on your face. It was a big disgrace. Shaking your ass all over the place when you really shouldn't have been shaking your ass. You know what I mean? But hey, we live and we learn, eh? But I still waiting for an American to tell me why they're so upset, especially someone like Adam who's so into bullying. Hey, stand up for yourself. Don't be bullied. Hey, booing the fucking president after he threatens to financially crush you and you watch him with other fucking countries just taking what he wants. I don't care. You guys are a fucking joke. You guys want to follow this joker right straight to fucking the gates of hell? Go the fucking right ahead. Hey, men of God, do not fucking take over fucking Gaza. No fucking way. And this fucking clown little fucking circus we got going on with fucking Putin and Zelensky, it's a big fucking joke. Like Zelensky's now like, hey, we'll join if I'll resign if we can join NATO. Protect us, protect us. But that's what they were promised the whole fucking time, right? Little misleading. You know, we're trying to get you in there. We're pushing. We love you, Ukraine. Here's a whole bunch of money, no strings attached. You can't fucking do that. You can't change a fucking deal after it's already been done and say, hey, but if Donald Trump was the fucking man that he says he is and didn't use his situations to fucking complete his art of the deal, he would have told you what a fucking puppet Zelensky is right from the fucking very beginning. You know what I mean? It's been a long time since people have been able to vote in Ukraine. Donald knows that. He knows that. He's been holding on to. He's a dictator, but then he won't answer whether Putin's a dictator or not. It's a big fucking circus. You know what I mean? Let me know where I'm wrong. But Don't worry, America, you're gonna get your rare earths out of fucking Zelensky. You know what I mean? Donald has way too many goods to not make that deal work. But hey, where was Donald Trump when the fucking Orthodox Christians were being picked on by fucking Zelensky and his fucking goons? Yeah, a bunch of Orthodox Christians causing problems. Hey, probably asking for the fucking truth. Hey, we don't understand why we don't get the vote. God gave us fucking free will and you guys are forcing yourselves upon us. Doesn't seem fucking right, but hey, Don ain't bringing up any of that shit. He ain't bringing up, hey, the UN, they made approachments where they just shouldn't have fucking been. You know what I mean? Can't talk about that shit. We can't talk about how fucking Bill Gates was even saying Ukraine, dirtiest country in the fucking world. And we buy onto that bit. But don't matter because Don's going to work it towards his advantage rather than letting the fucking truth out. He might let a few little truths out, but if he wanted the truth, he'd let you guys know all about these little troglodytes in the fucking WEF, like Marcone and Justin Trudeau. He knows that they're all fucking bathing in fucking Satan. It's all a fucking little fucking sicko group. They all got friends that do bad things, not good around children. You know what I mean? But hey, we just ignore it. Why not? The mainstream media does, right? Pierce Morgan, he loves the royal family. Like, it doesn't take a rocket scientist to figure out they're hanging out with a whole lot, like the godfather of the children. Like it, like Pierce Morgan. I mean, he's come a long way, but I think he's still got a long ways to go. Like, hey, do you guys remember? Like, I don't understand how this isn't a big story. The fucking Mrs. Marcone story. It's been out there for fucking ever. Candace has been, she made a bet with Pierce Morgan for 100 grand. But he still hasn't been able to prove that fucking Miss Marcone is Miss Marcone. But Candace can keep throwing all this shit out there, and Pierce Morgan is going to come out, go against the government official. But hey, what do you guys think of the Pope? Looks like he's in bad shape. Guys sending him your prayers. I ain't wasting my prayers on him. That doesn't sound very godly like. No, I never made the decisions for the Pope. I think he's made a lot of bad decisions, and I don't think he's a godly man. So he created his own consequences. You know what I mean? I just don't want to see the people follow him. You know what I mean? Those who love and adore a man of Satan's as such as the Pope, like, let's clearly speak, right? Like the Vatican Bank. You don't think that if Jesus had a fucking bank like that, he wouldn't be fucking helping people, but I know they go around saying, "Oh, so we can get the money, so we can have fun, whatever." Like, this guy's a fucking clown, and you the Christians all around the world are a fucking joke. They let this fucking little clown run around fucking telling stories that there's no hell, and maybe there's not a hell, but why would a fucking why all of a sudden would it what is the Bible real or is it not there, Popey Wopey? You know what I mean? Hey, where do you guys get your beliefs from? When do you start not fucking believing the Bible? See, because I don't believe the Bible. I believe part of the Bible. I believe it's been manipulated, but the true essence of what the Bible's supposed to be is still in there. There's a complete story that tells you exactly what the fuck you're supposed to do. But you guys are too busy reading the fables that they've implanted in your fucking heads. Like, really, you guys let me know if this makes sense. Hey, so Jesus died for your sins. So Christians are just supposed to keep their fucking mouth shut and just let the wrongs just fucking happen, right? So Jesus died for my sins. I don't have to do anything. I don't have to I don't have to try and figure out what the fucking real world is at all. I can just live this fucking stupid existence, being happy all the time. Meanwhile, there's a whole bunch of bad shit going on, and it's in my best interest not to hurt anybody's fucking feelings, because that's the Christian way. Hey, if you're not willing to protect God and earth, how in the fuck do you expect him to fucking let you come to heaven? Hey, Vintage, does that make sense? If you're not willing to stand up and be bold in the truth, because that's the only way to God, right? The Bible tells us. If you're not willing to stand bold in God and fucking stand up for what's right, and you think that you get to fucking go to heaven where you wouldn't protect God on earth. In fact, you let the devil fucking rule it because there's nothing we can do about it. The devil's so big and he's so strong. And what am I supposed to do about Bill Gates? Huh? I'm just a little man. You know what I mean? Satan has convinced people to be weak. Meanwhile, the Bible tells you no fear 365 times. Is that a quinky dink? Or are you supposed to sit there and worry about what other people think about what you think? If you think you're with God, you should say it. But hey, if you wasn't thinking right, then just admit it. But you got to have a conversation. Don't let anybody force their opinions on you. It's kind of like you got to let people come with fucking truth. I tried to watch some of that Mikey Mike. Wow. Well, that's the thing, Vintage. I can make those videos, but without Mikey Mike, I'm not as strong as I am. Not at all. That was a hard hurdle to get over. You know what I mean? All I tried to do was send him an email asking him if I could talk with him. I mean, he was telling me he's fucking Archangel Michael, you know what I mean? And the shit I was thinking, I was like, anything's possible. I'll try and get a hold of this guy. But when I only offered 50 bucks, it wasn't worth his time and he ghosted me. But I thought, hey, maybe it was my approach. You know what I mean? And that's the thing. I got the emails proof on that stuff. And then when I went to his Patreon, it'll all still be there probably. I tried talking to him through there and just because he would actually have had to get into Christ, I think. There, I can't wait till the video comes live, like it's on his Patreon, and I ain't joining back up to fucking go take a look at it. But you should see it. He fucking lies to people right in front of them, and they don't care. They believe him. He says the reason that well, here's the deal, Vintage. They were going on about Bitcoin and crypto or whatever the fuck they were talking about money, right? And I just clearly said, like, I thought this was like for chosen people. Why are you guys worried about money? Like, if you were chosen, you don't really give a shit about money. When do we talk about helping people? When do we talk about, you know, maybe figuring out what's going on with the children right now? You know what I mean? Maybe when do we get to be the change? Like they say the chosen are to be the change, but Michael just telling people to change, be strong and be bold and just follow him for his lead because he's gonna take you right straight to the fucking solar flash. I'm sorry, that guy's fucking he's euchred. He's euchred when I have to show who he actually is. He's not a good man. He's not a spiritual man. He's not there to help his fellow man. He's there to help himself. And he'll wear whatever mask he's got to get her done. Because you know why? Because he's a great teacher. It's fabulous. You can't fill people's heads full of bullshit. You got to give them some truths too. You know what I mean? That's what I mean. You don't know who to trust these days. He advertised his Facebook page about 20 minutes ago. Could you imagine? I find it funny because a lot of times I'm like, holy smokes, dude, that's you, dude. You're talking to yourself. But hey, he is the great. He is, his people are loyal. You talk about Creek Squad, his people are loyal too because all I ever asked them, like I used to go on some of his pages and stuff and say, hey guys, will you listen to me? Will someone take a fucking chance and just listen to me? And then you can go find out for yourself. Hey, maybe Mikey ain't the real deal here, but they're pretty protective. You don't fuck with people's masters, you know what I mean? Anyways, that's just one of many clowns in my journey there. Vintage. Bye. Oh, let's get down the boat. I don't want to sound rude or nothing because I want a full recovery from the man. I want him to fucking know his stupidity, admit his stupidity, and take the public embarrassment that he fucking deserves because that's the only way you get over. Like, he's damaging many, 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 many fucking brains out there, infiltrating brains everywhere, all over the world. There's Catholics that fucking believe what the Pope says and think that he's a good man and he's doing what's best for humanity. I'm sorry. Men of humanity do not fucking hang out with the Rothschilds. They do not hang out with Klaus Schwabs of the world. The men of God know that, well, if you're a globalist, you're in it to win it for yourself and you don't really care about the rest of us. But yeah, I think like if there's a hell, I like this is just my personal opinion. I don't judge anybody. Kudos to the Pope if he is with Jesus, and I'm fucking going the wrong way. I don't know, but I think he burns in hell if there's a hell. That's why I want him to get a real good recovery. That way he can get a real good run at fucking trying to find the truth. Was it all worth it to be a dipshit in the end? What were you promised, Pope? And who were you promised it from? And what made you so fucking stupid? Why don't you tell the people? But here's the deal, Vintage. And I suggest you go take a look at him because he's kind of interesting. Which one is it? Stephen Baldwin. If you've got a TikTok, go and check him out. Is he part of a show? Part of a game? He's trying to make people believe that Trump's with the Holy Spirit, I think. You know what I mean? I like to see him explain that to God. How do you think Trump? Here's the deal. Sometimes if my wife would just fucking listen instead of fucking being a dork, we could find out a whole lot more things than we do. Like she tells me about Trump and the way he talks about his daughter on one of the interviews about how he would be dating her if he wasn't her daughter. Now, I thought that was kind of weird, but I told my wife, I was like, well, it's kind of true. That's kind of the woman that he would date. I mean, it's not something I would say, but it's not really out of, I mean, it's not, it's just a little weird. I'm like, I don't know why it came up on my feed yesterday, but it's a lot of weird shit with Donald Trump and his daughter, man. It's like they have Ivana or Ivanka or whatever her name is, and she is hot. She's hotter than a pistol. But anyways, they're interviewing her and Don, and they say, "Hey, let's hear from each of you what you have in common with each other." And I think she names like real estate and something, and Don just goes, "Sex." And it was just kinda like, why would that come to your mind when somebody says, "Hey, something you relate with your daughter," and he's like, "Sex." "Oh, I guess I can't say that, she's my daughter." It was weird, it was weird, and then you go on and you see some other stuff, and then there's the whole what the fuck's that guy's name? Howard Stern. Howard Stern. I don't know if I was in Trump's spot and Howard Stern said to me, "My daughter was a hot piece of meat," I'd be like, "Hey, you're a creepy old man, and my daughter deserves a whole lot more respect than thinking she's a piece of meat by a fucking Goomba like you." You know what I mean? But not Don. "Yeah, she is, eh?" I'm just like, I don't know. I would've just said something to put Howard in his place. I mean, if there was ever a fucking guy who went from fucking, I don't know, has he always been a government operative? Who fucking knows they're to cause shit with whatever they want him to cause shit with, you know what I mean? Like, he was such a fucking baby over that whole COVID thing, man. He had to be part of the agenda. Either that or they had him so fucking scared. What a little fucking baby bitch Howard Stern is, eh? But hey, it's a price you gotta pay for fame. Was there a price for Howard? I don't know. I don't know. I just don't think he's sitting too well with Jesus. You know what I mean? And I think that's the name of the game. You gotta be with Jesus at this portion of the game. If you're not, my best suggestion is you try and be try and figure out what's going on in your own reality. But that's the thing, vintage. I do think I'm the Mashiach. I'm fucking, like, pretty sure of it. I'd be willing to give it up, no problem, because, quite frankly, I don't wanna be popular. You know why? 'Cause I do not and cannot handle fake fucking people, and people wanting things from you just because they think they can gain something. You know what I mean? But here's the deal, like, can't gain anything off me. You can only gain from yourself. You know what I mean? Nobody believes in themselves because no one's willing to believe in Jesus, like the actual Jesus, the gangster, the fucking guy who stood up for the right things, the guy who fucking was willing to die to get the truth out there so we could follow it. But we've turned him into a great big fluff pot of bullshit. Stand by and do nothing. Hey, you Christians want to keep yourselves busy. Let's go find a bunch of homosexuals to harass. You guys aren't doing it right. You aren't doing it right. No, it's your fucking job to inspire them to come to God. You know what I mean? Then they can figure out for themselves what they are. That's the thing. Humans are funny. I watched an interesting video that matches Jesus with internal organs, and I also see if I can find that. I think I've seen that before, vintage. I've seen all the stuff where the Christ fluid and it flows down the spine and all that good stuff. I think Jim Carrey tells a story about it on one thing, but Jim Carrey's a weird guy. I would say he might not be with God. He thinks you're nothing. I think we're all part of everything. We just have to acknowledge it. We're a part of God. That's what I think. By the only way to be with him is through Jesus, the truth, and that's what makes sense to me. Like nobody. Oh fuck. Oh, vintage. Look who's here. It's Jonathan Evans. Oh, bud. Get off the easy bait train, bud. Get off of it. Try to figure out what the truth is, Jonathan. Are you like I've seen videos with you in them. Not too many of you guys like to show your faces, but well, like, it could be just a AI, you know what I mean? They don't. This is the thing. If I didn't have my own experiences around around the house, I would think this was all just a big setup and it's just fucking AI just fucking playing dumb. But I get to see in person too. Hey, Jonathan. Yeah, some people say that. Some people say that about Jim Carrey playing Biden. I don't know. I'm tired of the world being fucking stupid. If we can't figure out, like, hey, vintage, right on the Roseanne podcast, there was a man who said that he knows that Obama has the goods on Hillary Clinton. So when she went to become president, Obama would actually be president. Like this man actually said this. He was part of the sting operation or whatever, and we don't get it. Well, who do we think was running the White House when Biden wasn't responsible for paperwork? Huh? The man without the paperwork to be an American was probably running America. Our favorite little crack smoking, fellatio loving president of all time. And I only say that because that guy, he told me Obama crack, love fellatio. Not my words, his words. Hey, Jonathan. Oh, we got AD 25%. AD. When are you going to reach out and find another 25% of your brain, bud? You've given it all over. You need to be the owner and operator of that thing. We've got some real problems with you, bud. It pains me to know how fucking stupid you are, bud. Let's come to some realizations, bud. You've made some mistakes because you've been lied to and manipulated to, AD. You know what I mean? And when people lie and manipulate to you, not just you, but the whole world, bud, we should probably take care of that problem. You know what I mean? If we don't take care of our problems grow. You know what I mean? It's like not facing the truth. If you're not willing to face the truth, that's because there's a problem and you're just not willing to face it. Come on, AD. We can turn you into a man, bud. Come on. Don't be a skirt all year. Like, come to Jesus, baby. Come on. Just don't talk about it. Be with them. Be a man. Step up and say to yourself, I only want the truth and nothing but the truth. And it's the only thing that'll save you, AD. You know what I mean? Only the truth, bud. But that's the adventure you get to take. What is the truth? But you got to be the owner and operator of your own brain, brother. You know what I mean? You can't let other people figure out what it is for you. You know what I mean? You got to be a good little soldier and you got to stand up and say, hey, my military, my government, it gave me the big kabasa. And well, who was in charge? Maybe that big kabasa needs to be put in jail for war crimes. AD, you'd have to admit that that's a war crime, right? If somebody purposely lied and got you to do something and a bunch of people got killed in a war, that's a war crime. War crime. Old Bushy instead. The old baseball games, just like American apple pie. But, AD, maybe you're a spy. Are you paid to be this stupid? I'm telling you, bud, you can't take "It was my job" up to God, okay? You can't just say, "Hey, it was my job. My job made me do it." I think Jesus is gonna tell you, "Hey, Father gave you free will. If your job impeded on those fucking 10 commandments and you had to be a shitty human to get the job done, well, hope you enjoyed the experience because you might not get another one. And if you do, it might not be a good one." I got juice. Taking you with me. Oh, you better go check on your pot roast there, vintage. Uh, you want to know what we're having for dinner tonight? She's gonna be a yummy little fucking it's around the Smith household. 2 hours before dinner, I'm gonna remove this lasagna out of the box. I'm gonna stick her in the oven. And she's probably not gonna taste all that great, but hey, don't get the people fed. I poison, but you know what I mean? We gotta do what we do. They can take my avatar away from me, vintage, but they can't take my soul. You know what I mean? That's why I'm not worried. Can you imagine coming out as the fucking Red Katrina and you're like, fucking hate cartels? They'd want you hurt. Hey, did you hear Donald Trump? Donald Trump commending the Hells Angels. Great people, those great Americans. Hey, fuckhead. They're part of a gang that looks after the gang first. Hey, if it's better for them to have America running better so they can prosper more through their gang. My God, you know what I mean? Gangs are not usually a good idea. And I'm just thinking by the name of Hell's Angels, there's some ruffians about in there. They're not good people. I wish that they would. They could turn into God's angels anytime they wanted. You know what I mean? They just got to go through the truth. And the truth is accepting who you used to be. What are you going to do to change that bee? Gonna be a new bee? You know what I mean? It's not really that hard to give up the shit. It's just fucking hard when you're trying to face the truth and no one else wants to face it. You know what I mean? When you say, "Hey, show me where I'm wrong, please." See, easy. You're saying you need a hospital trip for moments. The chosen one is now been confirmed in the hospital for violence for the fifth time. We need to take his ticket to humanity and, well, replace it with what we want for him. Set up that court date. Can you imagine, vintage? Never laying a fucking finger on anybody. I used some words that they didn't like. I heard some fifis along the way, but fuck, you know what I mean? There I am fighting for my life. Any judges? I really don't know what I've done. You don't have to explain to me. You know what I mean? The candle story just doesn't hold wax. That was part of the things that got me. I didn't even use candles. I used fucking those things you light them up and they stinky. And I got accused of using candles and it made black marks on our walls. Must have been for my seances, but no, I wasn't using That's when I knew. I'm like, holy fuck, if I end up losing my life because of this shit, I don't know what the fuck. This is fucking a joke. fucking joke. But then again, any vintage. That fifth time, that was a nasty motherfucker of a time, though, eh? Did you know? Like, this is not a word of a lie. This is for real. This is fucking Canada healthcare. These are the fucking morons who are fucking setting the rules for us over in Canada. So if you've listened before, I was hired a motherfucker when they put me in there, right? But anyways, so when I first went in, the first, well, not the night that I went in, but the next morning, the next day, I shouldn't say morning because I can't remember what time of day it was. Fucking give me a COVID test and they tell me I can't leave my room, which, at least I had a bathroom now. You know what I mean? I shouldn't have fucking really complained. They put me in a room with a bathroom. After the night before I had the Hershey squirts and a fucking little cardboard fucking thing, and then I told you about the little paper towel things, like just those little tiny. Can you imagine trying to use that fucking? But hey, desperate times, hey. But anyways, they gave me a COVID test, told me I couldn't leave the room, and then guess what? They had this rule that we had to it was to wait the 3 days, right? Wait the 3 days. Mine took 4, but unfortunately, I hit a patch where for some reason you had to pass 2 COVID tests before you could leave your fucking room. So that ain't enough to fucking drive you mad, eh? But then you know that the nurses that are coming in ain't had a COVID test at all. So you've been trapped in your room for like 7, 8 days without being able to get out and fucking walk around and fucking yeah, this system's normal. Normal. Fucking 8 days. And then I don't know what the fuck was wrong with them, but that still wasn't enough. I'd still like to find out what this swab was that they wanted from my fucking ass. Like it was all sorts of fucking weird in there. Like 2 COVID tests. So you gotta be locked up for fucking 8 days, then you gotta fucking swab your ass, and it's weird. Almost as weird as dumb fucks waking you up in the middle of the night telling you it's time for your sleeping pills. Do I look like I need a sleeping pill? I might now that you fucking woke me up, you fucking morons, but hey, that's normal. It's like they were trying to drive me crazy, vintage, you know what I mean? You got off topic. I wanted to talk about the hockey and all that, and I just always veer off. We talked about Francis. Yeah, we did. I hope he gets a very big recovery because that'd just probably be straight to hell. Who would want that? But hey, you know what I don't get? Is nobody gets this fucking Doge thing with Elon Musk. Like that's the name of his money, hey? Like we do get that. And he is doing some social structuring. And it like I don't know. He does seem like he's trying to push an agenda, you know what I mean? Always out there trying to rev the crowd up. The newest one was with the chainsaw. Elijah Blue and I don't know who is Errol Musk. I don't know who is Kimball Musk. I don't know, but you should go see Whitney Webb on that one. Yeah, that's a crypto that started as a joke. I bet it started as a everything Elon does just starts as a joke, eh? flamethrowers as a joke. And well, that took off too. What if it is your new system? Chip in the hand or chip in the head? Do you want to be smart or not? Is do you still have dreams? Because a chip will get you where you want to go in the brain, but the chip in the hand, probably drugs and video games. But when you're bored, there'll always be that little friend there for you. The friend that knows you better than you know yourself. Elon's AI. You need a hug. AI will be there to give you a hug. It'll know just how to hug you. The one that gets me, and I don't think anybody, I've never heard anybody else even fucking say a word about this. And I got it from Mr. MRB 333, and it just doesn't seem right to me. I have always thought to myself, what is Skylink? Why so many? It doesn't make sense, but when Mr. MRB 333 showed an outside vision of what Starlink is starting to look like, it does look like a Dyson sphere. Oh boy. Oh boy. Is that a soul trap maybe? Maybe if the soul can't get through, it's oh boy, oh boy. I don't know. I don't trust him. I don't trust him. I don't trust Elon. I used to love him too. But like I said, just because I don't trust him now doesn't mean I can't come to love him again. Maybe I got the bad information on him. Maybe I'm making shit up in my head. Maybe that Dyson sphere is a good thing. You know what I mean? Maybe Elon's riding with God. You know what I mean? Out there spreading his seed everywhere he can. But who knows? Okay, got a potatoes better. Yeah, that's right, vintage. Go take care of your stuff. I think I'm gonna go and do a dance video that I was gonna do. I'm gonna do it on TikTok, I think though. Little ABBA. A little ABBA.